Hello, welcome to Driven It Tinker Time. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh my Christ, the Beetle is back in the garage, back in the air. Yes, it is, but this is for two things, but mainly one thing at first, and then it turned into something else because I've been doing some reading, and this was to do with maintenance. So when I did the restoration and did all the stuff and had the engine out, I was like, Stuart, change the gearbox oil. Yeah, I will do. And I didn't. I'll be honest with you, changing gearbox oil is so bloody boring and it stinks. And I forgot to do it. However, driving it around, I'm like, oh, I better change the gearbox oil. So I am. Now I've put him up on ramps. And you might be going, that's a bit excessive, Stuart, putting a Beetle up on ramps or any car on ramps just to change gearbox oil. But there is a story in itself. Now, if this works, it'll be brilliant. Because I can't reenact it, and I don't really want to reenact it. See, since I bought the Beetle, it's brought back something from my subconscious, I know, right? From when I was about 14, when I was working on a friend's Beetle. So, cut to animation. Picture the scene. There's a 14-year-old Stuart. Hello. Stuart needs to go underneath the Beetle. He needs to check gearbox oil. Stuart goes underneath the Beetle, and his skinny little 14-year-old wrists are unable to undo the filler plug. So Stuart comes back out from underneath the Beetle and goes, rests gently against the Beetle, which then pushes the Beetle forward and off the axle stands. It comes crashing down. So there you go. That's why I've got him up on ramps. However, I was sort of watching old 60s film from, the Nürburgring, where people drive their cars around Nürburgring, and you've got lots of Beetles and lots of Type 3s and Simcas and stuff, lots of swing axles falling over. And I went, now this thing does get a bit wayward on the back end. If I'm going around a roundabout, not very quick either, and I just yank the steering wheel, he can get a bit twitchy, and not at high speeds. These things really are bloody awful. However, I've been reading up about rear compensator bars. So, also, while I've got them in the air, I'm having this rear compensator bar. Now, it does look a bit like something that you could get from Ann Summers. Strap your little ankles in there, keep your legs spread apart. You know, it's quite kinky, really, quite sturdy. But you need to have him flat where you mount this up to the swing axle, because the swing axles do this. So, well, the wheels do that. So when you go around a corner, they go, wee, and they fall over. So this is supposed to stop it. And by all accounts, people say, yes, they do work. Now, there's several different things on the market. There's also anti-roll bars made by a company called MP. Now, I fitted MP roll bars to the bus, the bigger ones, because you fit the big one at the front, you fit one at the back. They never had rear anti-roll bars on the back. And it has improved his roll angles. Doesn't roll anywhere near as much as he used to. However, it did leave me slightly disappointed, because handling-wise, it's not a sports car, but you drive around the corner, these anti-roll bars, they stopped his handling. They limited his handling a bit, and now he understeers. When you go around the corner, you go, oh, bloody hell, understeers. Never used to understeer without these anti-roll bars. So that's a bit of a problem. And with a Beetle, you really don't want them understeering. There's no weight over the front wheels, unless, like what some people used to do in the 80s, go to a graveyard, chop out a bit of marble, shove it in the spare wheel, weighs the car down, stops it understeering. So I thought, I don't really want to have a go at fitting those anti-roll bars in case it does that. So, compensator bar. So that's what else I'm doing today. So I'm going to get myself sort of ready. I've taken off the bolts because I've got to check about the mounting plate, because it's quite a sturdy bit of plate. And we'll have a go at fitting it. And I've got some other things to do. So in another video, I'll do a driving impression of seeing whether or not this works. I can't do it today because, to say, he's on ramps and I've got several other things I've got to do. Like also secure the tailpipes, because despite the clamps, they are a bit shit. And every so often I go driving, the tailpipes keep trying to fall out. And I don't want to lose them. They're stainless steel and they're not very cheap. So there we go. Anyway, I'm going to get myself into position. I'll see you in a bit. I've done the gearbox oil. I wasn't going to film it. I'll tell you why. It's incredibly boring. Just go, I have taken a picture and you sort of go, Jesus Christ, yeah, it's boring. I would have switched off, gone and put the kettle on. Ooh, fancy a coffee. Anyway, have another one of these spare, half fill, because when you're trying to get into that little fill hole and you've got a whole litre and you're trying to get it in, oil goes everywhere. So half full gives you more control. And the most important one, really, I should have said this first, before you do crack off your drain plug, make sure you find your filler plug and you can undo it. Now, many people have been caught out by this because they drain the oil and they go, yay, the oil is coming out. And the oil is here, look at this. You can see this, it's very black and grim and ugh. However, so people drain the oil, they go, brilliant. And then they go, where's the filler plug? And then when they do locate the filler plug, they go, can't get it off. And if you can't get it off and you've got no gearbox oil, what does that leave you? Absolutely without a car you can drive because you've got no gearbox oil. So there you go, half fill one of these and find your drain plugs and filler plugs. Oh, also another thing, there's one thing I have learned. Who is this? What gearbox oil am I using? AD, whatever, automotive fluids. One thing they don't include the little flappy controllable nozzle. So if you have got any of these spare, keep hold of them, clean them up, put them somewhere safe. They are really bloody handy. Anyway, I've just done some work on the gearbox. I've just done some work on the studs because this thing is quite big. So I'm about to actually fit this back in. Again, I probably won't film it because it is quite boring and there are videos out there because I haven't really got lighting under there to show it and make it enjoyable. So I'm going to have a little fit of this and then I'll come back and I'll show you how it works. Right, oh, there we are. Right, I am taking a break from the moment, only because I have just done the rear compensator bar. Now, when you go online, and there's people that have done tutorials on these things, and they've said, really easy, about 20 minutes. Nah, they're not 20 minutes, they are a little bit longer than 20 minutes. I have had to modify the base plate because it doesn't fit against the gearbox. Well, it does fit against the gearbox, it's just too bloody tight. And you sort of go, well, we could just jimmy it in. And then you put strain on the 4 bolts that hold it to the gearbox. And next thing you know, your gearbox casing has cracked. And then you need a new gearbox. All for a bloody compensator that someone sold me. Anyway, I'm sort of now looking at it thinking, do you know what? I should have tried the MP part. MP parts, I'll tell you, all of us in the VW business know. MP parts are not really good. Their gear shift for the Type 2 is very good, but some of the other bits is a bit ropey. CB Performance made this, and CB Performance are usually pretty good. Well, I'll tell you now, if people from CB Performance are watching this, which they won't be, I'll tell you now, your bracket for holding on your compensator is utter dog shit. Anyway, right, well, while I leave that to soak, let me show you what I've done. You probably really can't see much, and let me see what this is doing. So there we go, there's the compensator. So it mounts on here. Always make sure though it doesn't go anywhere around your brake pipes, otherwise you're buggered. And there we go, you see, so it just mounts to the gearbox there and then goes pretty much, oh bloody hell, the other side somewhere around here. Sorry, this is a bit crap. I don't really do filming underneath, so it's very oily under here. It is oily under here, so sort of running everything in. Things are leaking, and you think, oh, for fuck's sake. And I think we've got a flywheel seal leaking, because he is very, very wet here, which usually is an indication of flywheel seal. So really not surprised, because he did sort of have rather high oil pressure at one point. So it wouldn't surprise me that's blown, but when I get the engine out, we'll do that. He's not really losing that much oil, it just looks very wet, but then VWs always look wet. So anyway, so that is a rear compensator, which should actually sort of help the handling, because people say it does help the handling, and hopefully stop this thing trying to fall over. I'm making a coffee now. I'm having to sit down. I'm stopping. I'm going to conclude with what we've done today, because I'm not going to film sticking these in. I'm just going to put a pop rivet through them to stop them rattling out, really, because there's nothing really else you can do. The clamps that they provide you are pretty crap. CB Performance again. CB Performance with the that bar. Well, we'll see what happens, if it's worth the hassle, because we shall conclude. Now, this is the first time I've really done any technical filming, so I have no idea what I've made and no idea what is going to come out and how I'm going to piece it all together. But I will try. We'll see what happens. However, I have used, and because I've got this up because I've had to pronounce it properly, and also I haven't filmed under here because I use a lot of lelocezia, which is the act of using profanity or foul language to relieve pain, anxiety, frustration, anger, or stress. I use it a lot. Now, as you've probably realised when you watch my other films, yes, I do say the occasional swear word. Only because, to be honest with you, sometimes a good old fuck, you can't beat it and shit. So, yeah, so slightly project. I will try and not stop swearing. I'm never going to stop swearing, no way. But I will try and tone it down because sometimes I just drop the occasional fuck and piss and shit without realising. The edits, when I sort of cut through all this stuff, I walk up and go, what's that going on, cunt? I don't even realise I say it. I walk around Tesco's and sort of occasionally just drop the occasional, but there we go. But yeah, it just automatically comes out. Ex-motor trade, that's what someone said to me. Why do you swear so much? I'm ex-motor trade. I used to be a service manager. And yeah, so that's why you see me cleaning my oil tray. Because one thing you learn in the motor tray, keep your tools clean and everything is fine. Oil drip trays, once you've used them, it's a pain in the arse, keep them clean. Because you will drop something in there, and I tell you now, when it's covered in oil, ew, keep them clean, not a problem. Anyway, so the CB Performance thing, it's, we will see if it's worth it. Gearbox oil, now you know. Find your filler, make sure you can loosen it. Half bottles, find out how much gearbox oil has to go in because it really does help. And use lelocezia a lot. Anyway, take care. There you go. See you soon.